One of the reasons I enjoy checking side quests daily is to find some really interesting games, and usually find them in indie games where people take risks and try to, stand out from the rest, and there we're gonna find some really interesting games. And one of those games is Arcaxer 2, and this is still in alpha as of the time of making this video. This is a JRPG game that takes place in this beautiful world. It actually reminds me of a game that I already played in the past. I mean, quite similar, but this is just much better. Basically, you have your team. One character you see here, but another one will join you. And you're going on an adventure. You're going to do quests. You're going to upgrade your character, getting XP, fighting enemies. There are going to be different areas with higher level enemies. There are going to be dungeons, mini bosses, raids. There are lots of stuff in this little game. Well, I don't know if it's that little, it doesn't feel little, but again, it's still in alpha, and definitely I found a few issues, but nonetheless, the core gameplay itself felt amazing. Gathering resources, for example, as you can see here, and of course there's combat, and the combat is actually made so well. It's JRPG, so you say, alright, it's turn-based. Yes, it is. I mean, you're gonna see it in a moment. But the thing is that the way the enemies attack you, this is something you need to do in real time. For example, let's take on these little weird piggies. So we get into combat. By the way, you can play this both in third person and first person. Combat is first person because of the mechanics. So basically you have sword, you have even guns and spells, all the goodies that you expect to find in a JRPG game. So the thing is that when it comes to mechanics, you can attack turn-based, as you can see here. Spells you actually need to aim well, otherwise you can miss. If enemies move around, you can miss. So it's a JRPG, but it involves some kind of timing that is important both for you and the enemy's attack. So you can see here I need to switch to another character in my party, otherwise I can't avoid the projectiles. And yeah, you need to avoid the projectiles. And of course it gets tougher, depends on the difficulty. Bosses, of course, will have more. Think about it like a JRPG combined with kind of bullet hell, let's say it like that.
Nice! You've hit their weakness!
Now, there are also different elements. For example, water is good against fire, fire is good against grass, and you have also, how do you call it, stone, I think, is good against water. Anyway, different elements that have weaknesses, and you need to use them accordingly. You can actually see it near the name of the enemy. You can actually see the element, and if you fight bosses, for example, you see that this element actually changes, so you need to adapt accordingly. You can of course find other abilities as well. You can unlock and assign to your character. Same goes to armor and other type of gear, which again we're very familiar with this in many RPG games. Now the map is pretty big. There was actually something that allowed me just to fly very fast. I think maybe just designed in alpha. You can see you have your items inventory. You can expand the inventory. So there are lots of items you're going to find in the world. There's going to be a quest. You can see the party. You can see the entire map, which looks pretty big. And you can see the progression of the quest. Basically lots of the good stuff. They're actually surprised how many of them were actually implemented in the game. There are also some settings for comfort, music, voice volume, battle system, haptics, some nice things to play around with just to adjust it to your liking. Actually, when I played the game, it made me think about how it would be like playing a Pokemon-like game where you can actually throw the ball yourself in VR. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe, I'm pretty sure there's something similar to it somewhere. I haven't just tried it yet. Here you can see me changing gear. I probably did something wrong because I got to HP 0, but maybe it's bugged, I'm not sure. Nonetheless, there are options to change things. Weapon, you see accessory, pants, shirt, hat. Really nice. And you can see, of course, the effect. I mean, how they actually affect the stats. And the game also has really nice humor. Here, for example, I invited to fight a mini boss, but again, there was something that made me like zero both health and mana, which seems like not possible. So again, maybe it's bugged. I don't know, but basically you have dungeons as well. We can find loot, and this is kind of a mini boss which I'm invited to fight. You see I'm moving in third person here, but again, when you're outside you can actually change it to third person as well, first person as well, but the fight itself is going to be first person to allow you to dodge enemies' bullets. You're going to see here just for a short time because I died immediately, but you can see that there are many more bullets, so it's more like a bullet hell in that aspect. So I think it's better to play it when you're actually standing.
This'll be easy. Do you have a heal equipped?
So yeah, basically you can see everything's 0. I don't know why. You can see also the number of actions that you have before your end turn. You need to end the turn. The other cool thing is that in battles and also in dungeons, the game does support mixed reality. So you can, in those particular sessions, you can actually play it either VR or MR. I mean, up to you, which is again really nice addition. There's also a tutorial at the beginning that will teach you the basics, you know, how to attack, which is nice. Again, very simple, but again, get you straight on to understanding how to play the game. So overall, the mechanics are very well in place. They are fun, engaging. The real time is a fantastic idea because otherwise it might be boring a bit. Again, we're playing VR. Moving a bit also kind of move your blood again, so you're more or less suspected for some discomforts. I'm just saying from experience. But again, this is of course not the main reason, but the thing is that it just feels great where you have the option to play turn-based and also being able to avoid enemy projectiles. It's challenging and fun. If, for example, I didn't notice that actually the boss here changes the, you see, it changes from grass to water, so I needed to adapt. But at this point in the tutorial, I didn't really pay attention to it, but later I understand. So considering the fact that the game is still in alpha, it's always looking very, very good. I mean, the foundations are great. I already see it immediately with the mechanics, the content that it has, all the loot, you know, and the way it is designed with the third-person and first-person perspective. Combat is fun and engaging with combination of turn-based and the real time for defending yourself. And lots of options, different gear, guns, swords, magic spells, I mean, fireballs and all this stuff. Lots of enemies. Some of them, by the way, look on the map even very big, so they're high level. I'm yet to actually fight them. Yeah, overall it feels great. This is really, really well-made game, still in alpha, but looking amazing. So if you want to try out the alpha, you can sideload it via side quest, and definitely it's worth your time. Make sure to check it out and follow this game. It's really going in a great direction. Thanks for watching.